An absolutely loaded show today. An Ian Happ extension out of the blue. Cubs can't sweep Seattle, and a big night on the farm.
Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy, and this is Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Please support the show and be a part of the Locked On Cubs community by following on all audio platforms, and you can watch, subscribe, and leave a comment on YouTube. Thank you so much for making us your first listen. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Before we wrap up the Cubs-Mariners series, there was absolutely giant news on Wednesday. Pleasantly surprised to react to the news that the Cubs signed Ian Happ to a 3-year extension through the 2026 season. The Cubs outfielder has certainly had a journey to get here, Sam, but nice for the Cubs to lock in one of their own.
Yeah, and surprising the terms on the deal. I thought that this wasn't going to happen because I thought Ian Happ was rightfully going to command and fight for about a 5-6 year deal and with a 3-digit number on it.
Totally.
That's what I thought in free agency. And Ian Happ even said in his presser today, I'm not quoting because it's not word for word, but to paraphrase, he said something along the lines is, I'm still going to hit a good contract year when I'm 32, but I made a sacrifice to do a shorter term deal because that's how much I want to stay here. And I thought that was really special. And, you know, I know there'll be a lot of questions about, okay, well, what does this mean for the minor leagues and stuff? Usually that takes care of itself. This is wrapping up for 3 years now. You now have Nico Hoerner, Dansby Swanson for longer, but he's committed. Hoerner, Swanson, Suzuki, Happ, Tyone. You know, you're starting to build a little bit of a foundation here. And Ian Happ's a good guy and a good player who I've always thought was a good player that had it inside him to be special, very much like I feel about Seiya Suzuki. And now we have 3 more years to see if that specialness can break out, and it might.
And you're building a foundation with proven major league players.
Yep.
You know, the more people that can contribute at a high level in your organization, especially at the top level, the better.
Right.
I am not for one even speck concerned about these outfield prospects. I appreciate what they could be. I'm excited and hopeful that they will graduate or turn into another major league player, i.e. as some kind of a trade, either this summer or this winter or beyond. But the fact that Jed Hoyer has now done this with Happ and Hoerner, either days before the season started or now 11 games in, which is also the other surprising part because I thought they were just going to table this for months.
Sure.
I do want to give some credit to Jed.
Yeah.
I think this created immense buzz all day. I think it will, even into the rest of the week and the weekend. The 3 years, 61 M's, besides that people, I guess, aren't into round numbers anymore. Couldn't just do it for 3 for 60, I guess. Very affordable. I was starting to think that Happ was, if not a top 5, top 3 bat, perhaps at least as his position, excluding Ohtani, the best guy available. 100%. And now he just took himself off the market. I'm excited for the start that he's had to the year. Still want to see if he can put together now 2 consistently solid seasons in a row. He looks to be on track to do that, but I'm definitely jacked up about this extension.
Yeah, and again, with Happ, why I'm psyched about this for 2 reasons. Well, 3. Number 1, I like Ian Happ. Number 2 is I think last year is just a taste of what Ian Happ could be. I think one of these 3 years, he could put it all together and find himself in an MVP conversation. That's how talented he is. The way he could take pitches. Like you mentioned it on the show on Tuesday night where you wanted to see a little bit more power. And I agree with you because I think he has the ability to take these pitches and hit 30+ home runs, right? So that's what's exciting. But let me tell you that one thing I saw nobody talk about today, but I'm going to talk about it right now that I think is really important, especially with the theme of our show. And one of my it's number 3 on the list, but it's on the list of why I'm really excited about this. Matt, you're with me here? This is really important.
Yeah, why wouldn't I be?
Okay, I know. You just kind of looked like you were just, gazing away at the sunlight or something. It's all right. You guys will be back. You're a great coach. Don't worry about it. Okay. Yeah. Listen to this. This now takes a little bit of pressure off the Cubs in April because now a sell-off is a lot less likely because Ian Happ was always going to be the face of that July sell-off.
Right. Oh, by far.
Right? So now I'm a little bit less, oh my gosh, we have to prove to Jed Hoyer and prove to Carter Hawkins and Crane Kenny was in the booth today as the Cubs gave up a bunch of runs, by the way.
Oh, you connected to that?
Yeah. And now we don't have to worry as much about this roof because Ian Happ's going to be here. So, if this contract doesn't get signed, even if the Cubs are 2, 3, 4 games above 500, he's probably out that door in mid-July, and that takes a real big hit to your team. Now you don't have to worry about that. So this leash that we're on, it feels like in April and May to make sure that we prove that we're a good team, it feels like it just got extended a little bit.
Whoa, this is a great take.
Yeah, right?
I will be reacting to this in the moment as I broadcast my own process here.
You look like a Kennedy, by the way.
I think it doesn't do that as much for me, but I could see what you're saying because he was easily by far the most valuable piece. But the fact is that you don't necessarily need to keep adding minor league talent. Mm-hmm. Jed Hoyer made several good trades. There was a listener of ours, Lyndon, who sent me a message today with the former Coors stats. Oh. And, if we play the Marvel what if game with the Northsiders, what if those trades aren't made? And you would be in a lot tougher position than you are now. It'd be scary times, I think. And now they're able to build and create this new era. I do think Happ has been the face of the team since the summer of 2021. Definitely entering this campaign. And now he's going to be around for that much longer. I would like to see them capitalize on the, and I know we're going to get to Cubs Mariners in a few minutes, but I would still like to see them capitalize and how this 6-5 start. But it does definitely ease a lot of the concern going into the summer.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the biggest questions was, well, are they going to be buyers or sellers based on how the season goes?
Well, and I think, too, it puts them, this is an Ian Happ conversation, but it also, they're going to be in a situation where they have veterans where those guys might help other people and the Cubs don't get much back for them, but then the Cubs promote some of their own and then, there's no drop off. But yeah, to me, those are my 3 takeaways. Happy because I like Ian Happ. Happy because you get a good player for 3 more years, and now you have you're forming a little bit of a core, if you will. I don't like that word, but you're forming a little bit of a core. Then the third is now we're not going to lose one of our best players at the trade deadline, so that's always positive.
Perhaps nucleus is the right word for that.
Yeah, nucleus, core, they're all the same. I just want to win. Winning's my favorite word.
PCA. Davis, Canario, Contra, Casey, there's even more than that. What is your level in terms of their graduation or now their value to the team, given that you have more outfielders locked up?
Same as yours.
Okay.
Well, first of all, PCA is different because he's center, and that's gonna be his
that
job.
Much better than the other guys.
Yeah, and he plays center. Like center's what he does. So he's going to be, Bellinger is a filler until he gets here. The other guys, I just think we learned this with the previous regime when it was too many position players. It's going to work itself out. Now, sure, you could make the case with Gleyber Torres and Eloy Jimenez, although, I don't think those guys have been world beaters. You lose players like that in that process, but we've seen how this works. You build your system with as many good players as you can, and when you're ready to win, those guys either come up and it's time to ball out, or they go and they turn into a Aroldis Chapman who you don't win a World Series without. So I'm not worried about that at all. I want to see those guys continue to – I mean, Canardo's not even playing, right? Like, what are we worried about that for? Brendan Davis needs to stay healthy. One thing we know is that Ian Happ's a really good Major League Baseball player. It's a fact. It's a fact. So I'm glad that he's here. I'm glad that Seiya Suzuki is here. I'm glad that Nico Horner is here, and I'm glad Dansby Swanson's here. And let's let the rest figure itself out, and let's continue to win some baseball game.
The Cubs did that this week. They won 2 out of 3 against the Mariners, and we will wrap up that series coming up next. Today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. For a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can be sure every part you need fits right the first time around. Just add your ride to My Garage and look for the green check to know the part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop on eBay Motors. And with over 120 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. Welcome back to Locked On Cubs. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. The Cubs are now 6-5 on the season after dropping Wednesday's contest 5-2 to the Mariners, and they still win the series 2 out of 3 after 2 very nice energy-filled wins Monday and Tuesday evenings. Marcus Stroman pitched well again, Sam. Got his pitch count. He was pushing 100 there. Got the Cubs through 6 again, allowed 2 runs this time around, and he looked really good, but the Cubs did not put up enough offense in this game.
Yeah, it was really similar to his first couple starts. In each of those starts, he kind of found himself in an unlucky jam. In the first 2 starts, he was able to escape with 0 damage. Today, he minimized the damage, but there were 2 runs that came across. Because I respect you, I will not talk about today's poor umpiring, but it was poor once again, and it wasn't in the Cubs' favor.
And that was 3 straight games, right?
Yeah, 3 straight games. But that is not why they lost the ball game. Offensively, they were very poor. I'm going to give everybody a pass today because I have to work on not being so reactionary game to game because we have 162 of these. Yeah. I didn't understand the lineup because I guess Gilbert is a reverse split guy. I didn't do my homework on that, but I guess he is. But then why was Velasquez not playing then? After hitting a grand slam and looking like, Frank Thomas less.
I would still, not to be a meatball, but I would have started him even if it wasn't a reverse split situation.
Yeah, right. But he didn't start either way.
Right.
And then so if he doesn't start, and then Edwin Rios with the wind howling out on an 80-degree day doesn't get in the bat, and I owe you a Mountain Dew, by the way, so I'm just going to cater to your health deteriorating. I can't believe Edwin Rios didn't play in all 3 of these games. I just can't believe it.
He just doesn't play at all.
No, I can't believe it. But yeah, I thought Logan Gilbert was really good, but I didn't think he was as good as the Cubs made him look.
Sure.
Lot of bad at bats. Mancini, Hosmer, 0 for 8, 4 Ks, middle of the lineup, weren't really competitive. Bellinger had a good game. It was nice to see him have some success. We've talked about it a lot on this show. It looks like he's doing better than he is. He had a sac fly, base hit, home run. So that was nice to see. He hit a home run off a tough pitcher too, Paul Sewald.
And I really liked his first at bat. Getting deep in the count, 2 strikes, healthy fly to left. It was actually
what's really interesting with Bellinger, Matt. Knock on wood here, is his strikeouts are way down.
Yeah.
like way down. Like he's not striking out a lot. I thought this was the first game because the Woodruff game was a hat tip for me. The Woodruff game was a hat tip. This was the first game in a while where I just thought offensively it was a poor game, but you also have to give them some credit. They're missing Swanson and Suzuki. So, overall, that's what it was. The Julian Merriweather, I was talking to some Blue Jays guys today, because they watch our show and we're like, hey, the great stuff, can't figure out why he's not pitching well thing. We've been doing that for a really long time. So it seems like to be a trend with him. And you got guys like Cam Sanders chomping at the bit. So I wonder when that situation will happen. Boxberger gave up a run today, not the end of the world. The Mariners did not play badly this week. Like we got some of their best shot. I mean, they hit. I mean, Kalenic hit a ball in center field today.
He was great all week.
482 feet is one of the farthest balls I've ever seen hit at the friendly confines. They're a good team. Their record's not good right now, but they're a good team. So the Cubs played them tough. Only trend I want to see stopped is if the Reds season finale got canceled and all three other series finales, they're 0-3. We've lost all three series finales, and those series finales have been our three worst performances of the season. Finale against Milwaukee, awful. Finale against Texas, awful. Sunday, but is there any trend to that? No, but you just want to finish series strong. So
it'd be nice.
Yeah, overall, and overall good week. Not going to put too much stock in the game today. Flight day, and let's go to the Dodgers and Oakland and come back. We got 6 games, come back 3-3 at worst, and go from there.
And we were able to breathe a collective sigh of relief really in the moment on Tuesday Nights Live. But Dansby Swanson is expected to play Friday, which is outstanding news. And I expect them to make at least one roster move Friday. You could have Seiya back. He homered for the Cubs on Wednesday. How much more innings does he really need? We'll see. And, maybe Estrada or Sanders or somebody else swaps with Merriweather. We'll have to figure that out in the next 48 hours, I suppose. Suzuki homered for the Cubs on Wednesday. There's also several other minor leaguers that are impressing so far, including 2 top prospects that made their season debuts on the mound, including the 2022 first-round pick for the Cubs as well. We get to that coming up next. Today's episode is also brought to you by Rocket Money. You're talking about personal finance. You're talking about budgeting. You're talking about your subscriptions and maybe your rent payments per month and other costs that you have each week or each month or even on an even bigger picture basis. How do you organize that? That's where Rocket Money comes into play. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted spending, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Over 80% of people have subscriptions, whether that's streaming, books or more that they forget about. And the chances are you might be one of them as well. You could do that with Rocket Money. You could all keep up with your subscriptions, cancel those. It's that easy to do it through the Rocket Money app. You could also easily track your budget in real time. And you can also get alerted if anything looks off. Stop throwing your money away, cancel unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/LockedOnMLB. That's rocketmoney.com/LockedOnMLB to get your finances squared away today. Welcome back to Locked On Cubs. We have talked Ian Happ extension. We wrapped up the Cubs-Mariners series. And now we move to a farm report as 2022 first-round pick Cade Horton made his debut Wednesday with the single-A Myrtle Beach Pelicans. Sam, 2 1/3, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts. 47 pitches, 30 of them were strikes. Horton is already the 4th best prospect in the system, according to MLB Pipeline. Nice to see him toe the slab today.
Top 100.
Wow.
Made a top 100. Yeah, he's got that nasty back foot slider to lefties working. He had that going today. Looked the part. I think
exciting.
This is the type of guy. We got the Stromans and the Steels of the world. Guys that get a lot of outs. Now, we want to get some big fellas in here that miss bats consistently, and he sure falls under that category. So nice to see him get started in a really good fashion. And really, I'm sure we'll get to Cole Franklin through well today too. 7 Ks. That's the type of stuff I want to see, because so far, and again, it's so early in the year, but with Wisniewski and Killian, it hasn't been a great start for the guys that are close. So I'm really locked in on that pipeline of arms, because that's what we've got to change. I was watching the Rays today, who are 12-0, by the way. Oh, God. And I see a guy like Jason Adam, former Cub.
Yes.
And the Cubs couldn't figure that out. And he goes to the Rays, and now he's a great back end piece. That has happened far too often for the Cubs. They need to become their own pitching factory. And I think they're on the right track of doing that. So monitoring these guys coming throughout the system will be key for the future of the franchise. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah. And even some of these high velo guys, where sometimes control and command is an issue, there's really not too many freebies they allow.
Right.
Horton, no walks. And then Cole Franklin, I have his line right here. 4 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. He made his debut for the high A South Bend Cubs. That's huge.
Huge.
That's huge. Command in the zone, be competitive in the zone. It's not just throwing it over the white and just blowing it by somebody, but you're able to establish that early in your career with that type of control and command. It can only do wonders as you continue to go up in the system. And they definitely have filled a need in terms of velo, in terms of some more pitch mix. So it's exciting. And we're going to continue to keep track of the minor leagues as we go throughout the year.
Yeah. And Owen Casey with 2 homers today. One of them went 458 feet. Shout out Lindsey Crosby.
Holy smokes! Yeah,
Lindsey Crosby tweeted about that. He's at the game. Wow. He's at the game, I think.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's at the game. I think he tweeted that out from the MLB Locked On Prospect account.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So good day on the farm.
Chris Morrell hitting 371 for AAA. By the way, I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, don't get me started on some of the blocking that we're doing, but it's today. I'm taking a big step forward today, guys.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised.
I'm not. A loss is a loss. Mancini 0 for 4, 2 Ks, both of the backwards variety. Okay. I am just letting it
go. That's a little bit of a dig towards the end here.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna all let it go, and can't believe Rios didn't play.
Maybe Lindsey Crosby can host with me for Friday, as Sam is going to be in the air. We're going to have a guest host situation or a Matt Solo situation for Friday to preview Cubs Dodgers and a whole lot more.
And everybody's going to be commenting. I could see it now. Keep Sam away. Talks too much. Much better program.
That's going to be Steele Syndergaard, Tyone Grove, and Smiley Urias, Sam.
I'm going to get Wally pipped.
Okay. All right. I think that's where
whoever replaces me is going to be the Lou Gehrig.
Maybe Politis. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for Locked On Cubs on YouTube and smash the like button.
Be like Terrence.
Locked On Cubs content. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your pods on the audio side. And you could drop us a text. 312-834-4634. I think Rios is – they told him to drive back himself to Des Moines.
I might just go over there and just give him some soft tosses.
Just some front toss.
Yeah, I just get the guy some work.
Thanks for making Locked On Cubs your first listen every day. How about your second listen, Locked On Fantasy Baseball? Listen to Matt and Dom as they bring you the best fantasy strategies all season over at Locked On Fantasy Baseball. For Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.